It's a different Australia now from the one I grew up in. Back then, a kid got an air gun at the age of 8 and by 12 you were shooting at 22. But since the Port Arthur massacre, Australia's hunting brigade has kept its head down. Now it seems shooters are finally emerging from cover. A growing number of Australians, many of them from the city, many of them families, are taking up arms for recreation and fun. And that's prompted a whole new gun debate, with a shooting lobby trying to reinvent itself as a band of modern eco-warriors doing their bit to wipe out feral animals. With untold millions of wild foxes, dogs, cats, rabbits, goats, pigs and even deer, there's certainly no shortage of targets. A freezing winter day in the Victorian high country.
But the deer marks are the most obvious.
And a family pursue a pleasure and a craft, all too common among Australians 100 years ago.
They'll take the tops out of them.
Way back before we became a nation of suburbanites.
No.
And it's so fantastic, and we've got the whole world to ourselves.
Oh, you're the only person here. It's the best feeling. Like, we just love the bush.
That's what the bush is about.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
Colleen Turrow and her family are townspeople, but at the weekend and on holidays, they become accomplished bushies. Deer hunters. He's leaving his scent.
He's leaving his scent and letting the other stags know that he's the boss here, and of course we follow the prints. And that's how we generally track them up.
You love this, don't you?
I do. I love it. I do love it.
The Turrows, Colleen, Mike and the kids are among a growing number of Australians who are taking up arms recreationally. More than 750,000 of us now have gun licences. The deer could be over there watching us.
Could be sitting up there, camped up, wondering what all the fuss is about.
And many prefer living targets, often feral animals like the sambar deer that the Turrows have in their sights, to shoot and to eat.
I think a lot of people see me in my everyday life at home with the kids, don't even have any idea that I bring them to the bush and do this with them.
And you have that other persona of killer mum.
Yeah, not so much killer mum, but provider mum, I think, is the word.
Hunter mum.
That's it. And I think it's been a good thing in my kids' lives, because from the time they were small, they've had to learn the discipline and the responsibility of being around guns. Other side, down, push, push, that's it.
The Turrows reflect a new breed of recreational shooter.
And look at your target.
Australians from towns and cities who reckon they're conservation hunters. They insist their sport is not bloodlust, but actually an answer to Australia's feral animal explosion. And with millions of pigs, countless wild dogs, cats, toads, foxes and the rest, there's certainly no shortage of targets.
I consider myself a greenie with a gun. You know, we're not out there shooting wildlife, we're not damaging our ecosystem.
A greenie with a gun.
I'm a greenie with a gun. You know, we take out the feral pests that have no known predator.
A nice big belly. Someone's been eating lots of grass.
The girls out on the town. You were this morning, weren't you?
One-time power broker for Pauline Hanson's One Nation party, David Oldfield and his wife Lisa, today on her folks' family farm in country New South Wales, are now turning their attention to a different type of illegal immigrant.
I mean, we're looking at foxes and we're looking at pigs that are introduced species. They're feral. They're basically the illegal immigrants of their day, if you like. And
I think we're straying into political incorrectness.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. No, because that's what they really are. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here. They have no right to be here, and they're a danger to the rest of the landscape.
It's early morning, frosty and shrouded in mist in the New South Wales Upper Hunter Valley.
Unfortunately, the way the fog is, they could even be behind us. It's great.
David and Lisa are out on dawn patrol.
And there's absolutely no shortage of pigs. They're all over the place.
Hunting one of our most damaging feral pests, the wild pig.
Oh, she looks like a mob of them there, can you see? Well, see how they're joined? That bigger one joined.
Oh, yeah, there's a second one.
Yeah.
This morning's hunt certainly serves a practical feral pest control purpose. But if you didn't shoot this female, how many would she produce in a year's time?
A good season, 3 litters. You
20
said
to
8 to
30.
10 piglets. Yeah, about
20 to
30.
30.
But for Lisa, there's no denying there's a certain instinctive thrill that goes with hunting.
You know, when I go for a shoot, and just the peace and quiet of it, you're not stomping around the bush. You know, you're being very gentle, very quiet. You're stalking. Generally, it's just communing with nature and then killing it.
Traditionally, hunting has been the domain of those on the land, but now city folk are hearing the call to arms.
131873 is the number. It is David Oldfield. You are on 2GB. It's 25 minutes
And every
past
night in his
12.
Sydney
Lots coming up
Talkback
as well,
radio
as
show,
you'd expect.
David Oldfield, like a true shock jock, spruiks his own
Foxes.
cause.
We're not talking about Babe. We're not talking about a nice little pussy, and we're not talking about basil brush. We're talking about devastating introduced feral animals. I love animals, but these animals are killers themselves. There are millions of them. It's a good thing for some of us to be doing something about.
We're environmental sheriffs. There we go.
Let's get it really clear. This is a huge, huge problem. They can be part of the solution, but saying that recreational shooting can get rid of this problem, well, it's like saying I can take a water pistol out to the Black Saturday fires and put them out. It's just not going to happen.
Yep. So, what, 1, 2, 3, geez, there'd be a dozen there, at least. You can see the big trails.
Yeah. Tony Peacock is Australia's leading expert on feral animals. He's the first to acknowledge that we do have an out-of-control pest problem led by environmental enemies like the feral pig.
Another big guy down here. Look at the size of this one, Charles. This guy down here, he'd be 100 kilos at least. He's a big bugger. Big old fat bastard.
But this is the only way we can actually get close to a live one, isn't it?
Yeah, we've trapped one overnight here.
And how many of them are there, do you think, at a guess?
The official answer is we have bugger all idea, but it could be 20 million pigs. But the reality is, if there's 20 million of these guys, you can see how much ploughing he's done in a few hours in that pen. That's 20 million ploughs in the Australian landscape. It's not an option to just stick your head in the sand and decide that it's not a problem.
But nor does Professor Peacock reckon that recreational shooters have the numbers or the firepower to put a serious dent in our feral animal population.
If they want to contribute to conservation, that's great. They can play a part. It'll probably always be a small part of the total solution. And we don't want to fight with them and say, don't be part of it. But nor should you, just rebadge yourself and suddenly you've become these great born-again conservationists.
But shooters groups, undeterred by the science, are seeking more areas and animals for hunting, including expanding into some national parks and state forests.
Just remember to keep it pointed down, Anthony.
And to bolster their ranks, there's a new generation of young hunters
Lift it to your shoulder.
like the Turras in training.
Now, when you're ready, you can squeeze the trigger.
In Australia, it's legal for kids to shoot from the age of 12. And the ranks of young shooters have risen 30% over the past few years.
Now, make your stance correct.
Colleen's son Anthony is just 14, but already an accomplished shooter who recently bagged his first stag.
Now, you have killed a